Shalom Temple Israel. Hope your week has been off to a good start, enjoying the beautiful weather. This coming Shabbat is going to be a first for me. It's going to be a first for Temple Israel. For the first time since this pandemic hit us back in March, we'll be celebrating a bat mitzvah at Temple Israel. Not just one bat mitzvah, but three in fact. Two on Shabbat morning and one on Shabbat afternoon. And these B'not Mitzvah are not going to look much like the B'not Mitzvah that you are used to, that we're all used to. Yes, the B'not Mitzvah girls will be reading from Torah, and their friends and family will be called up to the Torah and celebrate with them. But these B'not Mitzvah, like our services to this point, are going to be held over Zoom. Cantor and I will be in the sanctuary leading services, and the B'not Mitzvah and their families will join us from their homes or from other locations, and their family and friends will join them from across the country, maybe even across the world. But now, let's look at how we're going to do this. Zoom is great. We probably all take it for granted that it's part of life by this point. But talking to someone on Zoom, having a bat mitzvah on Zoom, is not what any of these girls expected. It's not what they looked forward to. It's not what they prepared for. And even though they're going to do a great job, they've worked hard with Cantor to learn their bat mitzvah portions and write their Dvar Torahs with me, there's still that sadness that this is not the bat mitzvah that they might have pictured or that any of us pictured before this year. Zoom is making the best out of a bad situation. I think it's really fitting that our first B'not Mitzvah are going to be on the Torah portion of Ki Tavo. Because in Parshat Ki Tavo, we read a section called the Tochecha, or the rebuke. And it's a warning that God gives our ancestors of what's going to happen if they stop following God. All the bad things that are going to go wrong, how their lives, as they know it, are going to be upended, how they are going to be destroyed. And it's a section of the Torah that when you read it, the curses, it's so terrifying, it's so depressing, that the Torah reader, the Baal Koreh, reads it very quietly and in a fast voice, which we're not supposed to do when we read Torah. We're supposed to really enunciate each word. But when it comes to this section, you read it as quickly as possible, just to get through it, because we don't want to focus on it. But I think it's very fitting because it challenges us. What do we do when everything goes wrong? When all of the things that we took for granted about our lives, we can no longer take for granted, we can no longer do. And the answer of the Torah, whether in this particular parsha or in other places, and Judaism has always taught me, is that we just go on. We get back up and we celebrate the next day. We carry on the next Jewish ritual. And that's very much what our B'not Mitzvah and all the rest of our B'not and B'nai Mitzvah this year are going to be doing. Less than ideal circumstances, but still learning from our Jewish tradition that even when everything goes wrong, when you can't even come into the synagogue, we're still going to live our Jewish lives. We're still going to celebrate being called to the Torah for the first time. We're still going to celebrate with our friends and family to the best of our ability. So I want to wish a big mazel tov and a big thank you to our three B'not Mitzvah this week, to Mia Plaisance, to Sophie Sidransky, and to Mia Keller. Looking forward to celebrating with you. And thank you, and hope that you really appreciate this bat mitzvah in a strange way. It's definitely one of the harder years that we've all had, and I know that I will be inspired by your perseverance through this time. Shabbat Shalom. We'll see you on Saturday.